Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 14, Ideal Family Life, Text 39. Drishva Tesham Ito Nrinam Avagyanatmatam Ripa Tritadishu Harir Archa Kriyayai Kavibi Krita Drishva Tesham Ito Nrinam Avagyanatmatam Ritva Tritadishu Harir Archa Kriyayai Kavibi Krita. Tritadishu Harir Archa Kriyayai Kavibi Krita. Dami. Drishvate Shamito Nrinam Avagyanatmatam Ripa Tritadishu Harir Archa Kriyayai Kavibi Krita. Drishva, after practically seeing, Tesham, among the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, Mita, mutually, Nrinam, of human society, Avagyana, Atmatam, the mutually disrespectful behavior, Ripa, O king, Treta Adishu, beginning from Treta Yuga, Hare, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Archa, the deity worship in the temple, Kriyayai, for the purpose of introducing the method of worship, Kavibi, by learned persons, Krita, has been done. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. My dear King, when great sages and saintly persons saw mutually disrespectful dealings at the beginning of Treta Yuga, deity worship in the temple was introduced with all paraphernalia. Purport. As stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam 12.3.52, Kriteya Dayato Vishnum Tretayam Yajito Mukai Dwarpaye Paricharyam Khalota Dari Kirtanat. Whatever results one obtained in Satyuga by meditating on Vishnu, in Treta Yuga by performing sacrifices, and in Dwarpa Yuga by serving the Lord's lotus feet, one can also obtain in Kali Yuga simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. In Satya Yuga, every person was spiritually advanced, and there was no envy between great personalities. Gradually, however, because of material contamination, with the advance of the ages, disrespectful dealings appeared even among Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. Actually, an advanced Vaishnava is to be respected more than Vishnu. As stated in the Padma Purana, Aradhanam Sarvesham Vishnur Aradhanam Param. Of all kinds of worship, worship of Lord Vishnu is the best. Tasmat Parataram Devi Tadiyanam Samacharanam. And recommended more than worship of Vishnu is worship of the Vaishnava. Formerly, all activities were performed in connection with Vishnu. But after Satya Yuga, there were symptoms of disrespectful dealings amongst Vaishnavas. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur has said that a Vaishnava is he who has helped other Vaishnavas. An example of one who has converted many others into Vaishnavas is Narada Muni. Powerful Vaishnava who has converted others into Vaishnavas is to be worshipped. Vaishnava, not because of material contamination. Powerful Vaishnava who has converted others into Vaishnavas is to be worshipped, but because of material contamination, sometimes such an exalted Vaishnava is disrespected by other minor Vaishnavas. When great saintly persons saw this contamination, they introduced deity worship of the deity in the temple. This began in Treta Yuga and was especially prominent in Dwapara Yuga, Dwarpaye Paricharyam. But in Kali Yuga, worship of the deity is being neglected. Therefore, chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra is more powerful than deity worship. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu set a practical example in that he did not establish any temples or deities, but he profusely introduced the Sankirtan movement. Therefore, Krishna conscious preachers should give more stress to the Sankirtan movement, especially by distributing transcendental literature more and more. This helps the Sankirtan movement. Whenever there is a possibility to worship the deity, we may establish many centers, but generally we should give more stress to the distribution of transcendental literature. This will be more effective in converting people to Krishna consciousness. It is said in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Archanam eva hariye pujam yakshariye pate nitad bhakteshu chanyeshu sabhakta prakrita smritaha. Person who is very faithfully engaged in the worship of the deity in the temple, but does not know how to behave towards devotees or people in general, is called a prakrita bhakta or a kanishta adhikari. Prakrita devotee or neophyte devotee is still on the material platform. He certainly engages in worshiping the deity, but he cannot appreciate the activities of a pure devotee. It has actually been seen that even an authorized devotee who is engaged in the service of the Lord by preaching the mission of Krishna consciousness is sometimes criticized by neophyte devotees. Such neophytes are described by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Sarva Prani Samanana Samarthanam Avagya Spardadimatam Tu Bhagavat Prati Maiva Patram It Yahaha. For one who cannot properly appreciate the activities of authorized devotees, deity worship is the only way for spiritual advancement. The Chaitanya Charitamrita Antilila 7:11 is clearly said, Krishna Shakti Vinanahe Tara Pravartana. Without being authorized by Krishna, one cannot preach the holy name of the Lord throughout the entire world. Nevertheless, the devotee who does so is criticized by neophyte devotees, kanishta adhikaris who are on the lowest stage of devotional service. For them, deity worship is strongly recommended. Drishvate shamito nrinam avagyanatmamatam mipa tretadishu harir archa kriya yai kavibi krita My dear king, when great sages and saintly persons saw mutually disrespectful dealings beginning of Treta Yuga, deity worship in the temple was introduced with all paraphernalia. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswatim Deve Gauravani Bacharane Nirvishesha Srinivadi Paskyatyade Satarne. Generally, we think of deity worship being introduced during Dwapara Yuga. According to that verse we just read, that Krite Dayatyo Vishnu, our objective, our purpose, is to meditate on Krishna. Now that meditation is not only just once in a while remembering Krishna, which is nice, but one who's actually in Krishna consciousness lives in the spiritual world with Krishna and his associates. But that's a little inconceivable to us at the present moment, because there's actually a television within our heart. The only problem is that at the present moment, the television is broken. Or if it's not broken, it's turned on to the wrong channel. So we have to change the channel to channel Krishna. And at first, when we're changing the channel, the signal may not be so clear. Just like sometimes, if you don't have a good connection on the internet, everything is rather, the voice, the image, everything is rather unclear. So as we establish our connection with Krishna, then everything becomes clear, including the fact that we can understand that Krishna is full of pleasure. Now, in the material world, everyone is looking for pleasure. Matter of fact, that's all that people are actually looking for is pleasure. We call that happiness. Some people call peace. If people become peaceful, they think they're happy for one moment until they get agitated again. So everyone's looking for something outside the realm of material suffering, anxiety, pain, bewilderment, whatever else we want to call it. And that's only found when one comes in contact with Krishna. Because even if one wants peace, the beginning of peace, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Nashti buddhya yuktasya, na cha yuktasya bhavanaha, na cha bhavyantak shantir, ashantasya kuto something. This is Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text 66. Ashantasya kutak sukham. One who is not connected with the Supreme and Krishna consciousness can have neither transcendental intelligence nor a steady mind, without which there's no possibility of peace. And how can there be any happiness without peace? So unless we have transcendental intelligence, that is, seeing things in relation to Krishna, we can't have a steady mind. And if we don't have a steady mind, then where is there any question of peace? If every time we look at someone, we think, oh, here's my friend, and the next moment we look at them again, they appear to be our enemy, it's going to be a very unpleasant world to live in if you don't know who your friends are. And generally in the material world, one day someone's our friend, and then someone else is our enemy. Or the same person becomes our enemy, and the next day our friend. Because people generally have no idea who anyone is, including themselves. For the most part, people look at each other as competitors. I'm more intelligent than you are. I'm more beautiful than you are. I'm more richer than you are. I'm more famous than you are. Bow down. and the other person's looking that you may be more richer, more beautiful, more famous, but it's not going to last because I'm going to overcome you. And then we chew you up and spit you out, just so you want to chew me up and spit me out too. So that's the mutual dealings in the material world. Everyone is envious of each other. Everyone is trying to exploit. One is in a higher position, one is trying to exploit others, and if one is in a lower position, one is trying to be avoided to being exploited, or at least one tries to exploit others. Just like the general yells at the colonel yells at the major yells at the captain yells at the lieutenant yells at the sergeant yells at the corporal yells at the private, and the private kicks the dog. So this is material existence. But if one comes in contact with Krishna, then one can understand the value of others, what others' actual value is. The actual value others have is a spiritual value. That Krishna is the reservoir of pleasure, and everyone is meant to help Krishna increase his pleasure, because as soon as Krishna increases his pleasure, the pleasure of his devotees increase also. And therefore everyone has the same interest. If our interest is to find pleasure, that pleasure can be found as we increase Krishna's pleasure. The example is used, as we heard many times, Ita Dharamula Nishechenena Triptyanti Tatskanda Bujo Pashaka Pranaharachaya Tendriyanam Tataiva Sarvahanam Atuteja. Just like if you water the root of the tree, then the water goes to all the leaves and branches. And even if we have one drop to put at the root of the tree, still that will supply something to all the leaves and branches. On the other hand, if you try to water each leaf and branch separately, the tree does not benefit, nor do any other part of the tree benefit. In other words, you may water a leaf, but it really won't benefit, or a branch, nor will the other branches and leaves benefit. Only if we put the water at the root can everyone actually become satisfied. So, pleasing Krishna also means to please Krishna's devotees. Therefore, Rupa Goswami says that spiritual life means 6 loving exchanges. Didati pratigrinati guyam prakati richati punkte prichati punkte bojayate chaiva shadvidam priti lakshana. There are 6 loving exchanges everyone is engaged in, whether one is in the material world or in material consciousness or spiritual consciousness. Everyone is offering some kind of gift or accepting some kind of gift. Everyone is revealing their mind in confidence or inquiring confidentially. Everyone is accepting some kind of food and distributing some kind of food. So everyone is engaged in some kind of loving exchange. So-called loving exchange. A businessman meets another businessman over lunch. And they talk about reveal their mind in confidence. I can sell you this for such and such money because I don't want to make any profit from you, because you're my good friend. And the person thinks, well, if he's my good friend, maybe I should try to get it for half. And he says, well, my good friend, I'll take it for half. Well, no. I can't afford that. It costs me so and so. And there's where they reveal their minds in so-called confidence, each one trying to make a profit from each other in such confidential activities. Similarly, as we offer gifts in charity, people have holidays like Christmas used to be a time people offer gifts, and if they were generous, they'd generously give gifts like Father Noel, famous priest in Germany, from which Christmas is named after. But other people, they give a gift and they count this cost me 50 euros, and they gave me a gift that was worth 75. So I made 25 euros on the exchange. So it's a good exchange. I like the guy. But in devotional life, it's supposed to be on a different level. We're offering something, we're only offering Krishna, because that's all we really have. The Hare Krishna movement is not noted so far for its opulent buildings, for its great cars that it drives around in, elegant cars. We're not noted for being in fashion. Our style of dress is not in fashion right now. The only thing we really have is Krishna. So we offer Krishna Prasad to others, and we happily accept Krishna Prasad. We tell people about Krishna. Revealing our mind and confidence doesn't mean to say, Prabhu, I really wanted to reveal my heart to you. I hate you. Well, let me tell you what I think also. I hate you more than you hate me. Really? I thought you were my friend. Well, I always hated you. I knew you were envious of me. Well, finally we revealed our minds and confidence to each other. How sweet. That's what it means to reveal one's mind and confidence. It means to reveal our realizations about Krishna and to hear others' realizations about Krishna according to their devotional activities. And the best gift we can give is to give the gift of Krishna. We have nothing else to give. And if someone else can give us Krishna, especially knowledge about Krishna, then we happily accept it. But Srila Rupa Goswami says, Krishneti yasya giritam manasadriyeta dikshasti tat pramiti brastrabhajantam isham shushushaya chavajnam ananya anya nindati sunya hridayam ifsita sangha labdhya. That one should honor the devotee who chants the holy name. One should cooperate with the devotees who have undergone initiation and engage in worshiping the deities, and one should faithfully serve that pure, unalloyed devotee who has advanced in undeviated devotional service, and his heart is devoid of propensity to criticize others. In other words, Krishna consciousness is not just doing, it's also experiencing. And that experiencing is in the loving exchanges. The idea of engaging in loving exchanges is to experience loving exchanges. And they have to be done appropriately. Because if you offer a gift to your dog, you can chant to your dog. You can even offer him a prasadam biscuit. You can tell him the philosophy, my dear dog, you're not a dog. You're actually a spirit soul. Hey, you're not that body. You're just a spirit soul. The body is just a changing dress, meant to grow old. So get out of this doggish mentality. Try to become a devotee. You can preach to your dog all day long, and he'll think you're crazy, if he doesn't already think you're crazy. And you'd be crazy to preach to your dog, because he's not going to be able to understand anything you're talking about. So similarly, we have to ascertain what is the level of consciousness someone is on, but the minimum is loving exchanges. That for a devotee, there's nothing considered for an actual devotee, an advanced devotee. There's no question of criticism. As Bhumi the cow and Dharma, Bhumi representing Mother Earth, and Dharma representing the bull, representing the religious principles, who is being beaten by a Shudra in the dress of a king. So when Parikshit Maharaj inquired from Bhumi and from Dharma, who's beating you, they were reluctant to answer, because they understood that whatever is going on is all going on by the arrangement of Krishna. That nothing can happen unless Krishna causes this to happen. Now, the soul has a propensity to desire, But in material consciousness, the soul is just bewildered, that's all. It doesn't know what to desire. Or, due to its past activities, its choices are rather limited. Its choices are between one foolish activity or one more foolish activity. It has no idea of what's to be done and what's not to be done. Therefore, it's to be understood that whatever we do is going to be wrong in the material world. Although, however much it may be glorified, just like if you take a club and you hit a little ball into a hole, people will think you're as good as God, if you can do it expertly. Now, no one in the three worlds will be benefited because you hit that little ball into the hole. But people think it's actually something important. So they're mad, and the person hitting into the ball into the hole is crazy. The people who are glorifying him are also crazy. But that's the material existence. It's meant for crazy people. They don't know that the goal of life is to obtain Krishna. And therefore they're worshiping things which are insignificant and glorifying insignificant people. But if one is fortunate enough to understand that the goal of life is to become Krishna conscious, then even one who is beginning the platform of trying to become Krishna conscious, trying to chant Hare Krishna, the minimum we have is to respect them within our mind. Otherwise, however fallen they may be, we'll fall lower than they are. If we start criticizing someone, then ultimately we're criticizing Krishna. If someone is in a shower and trying to become clean, and we see them taking a shower, we start criticizing them. Why are you so dirty? Well, I'm trying to get clean. No, why are you so dirty? Well, they're in the shower, they're trying to become clean, so therefore they should be appreciated, the fact that they're trying to become clean. Now, if they're still engaged in some kind of activity which is not so desirable, or their conception is not really so clear of what they're doing, still they're trying at least, and therefore they should be respected within the mind, because that attempt is actually manifested by the mercy of Krishna. Now, for those who are more advanced, who are engaged in worshiping the deities and have identified themselves, because that's what initiation means, that I'm actually dasa, anodasa. That's the meaning of initiation, that my real identity is a servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna. So one who's identified themselves as such and worship the deity in the temple, or engage in the Sankirtan movement, chanting the holy name or distributing literature, as Prabhupada mentions here, one should cooperate with them, because that's what Krishna wants, to work together. Just like the hand, both hands work together. In the body, one hand doesn't say, I'm more beautiful than you are. The other hand says, well, I'm more intelligent than you are. No, both hands, they have the same purpose, to work according to the purpose of the whole body. So that's cooperation, especially to help the innocent become Krishna conscious. And it's all done under the direction of one who's more advanced in what? Humility. But where does that humility come from? Realizing the greatness of Krishna, how wonderful Krishna is. So how small we are, everyone is in comparison to Krishna. But that's only done by steady, unalloyed devotional service to Krishna, done in the mood of appreciation, love, affection, whatever, for Krishna and for Krishna's devotees. So such devotees, whoever they may be, can teach us how to become more steady in our service and how to become more appreciative of the other devotees, how to see their good qualities and try to develop them ourselves, or how to cooperate with the other devotees, or how to respect other devotees, whoever they may be. So this we can learn. These are the advanced devotees we learn from. Doesn't matter who they are, whether they're our initiating guru or a shiksha guru, or they're from Africa or America or Slovenia or the moon, whatever. We can learn from them how to become a better devotee. And that way we make advancement. But if there's offenses, then once our devotional service is stopped or reversed, because the opposite of love is envy. If we're not loving someone, if we're not appreciating them appropriately, then we're envious of them. Even we glorify someone who's more advanced than we are, but if we're actually envious of them, that glorification is just material. Or if we're envious of a person who's lower than we are, then also we'll become implicated in our offenses. Like Daksha, he was envious of Lord Shiva, although Daksha was such an advanced personality, but because of his enviousness towards Lord Shiva, his followers suffered, and ultimately he suffered also. But that envy, even in his next birth, he was a very exalted personality in the universe, but still he became envious of Narada Muni, and he had to suffer accordingly also. So it doesn't matter who we are, that one has to remain as a servant of his spiritual master in disciple succession, and therefore always be meek and humble and try to serve the devotees according to their level of spiritual advancement, and therefore one can actually become spiritually advanced oneself. And Prabhupada has mentioned here that attempt to distribute Krishna consciousness is especially effective by distributing transcendental literature, which can explain to us how to worship the deity and how to chant the holy name, how to serve the Vaishnavas, and how to make the atmosphere in which we're living spiritual. But if one does not want to engage in this distribution of Krishna consciousness, then at least one should engage in temple worship and try to serve the deity, because that one will bring one to a stage where one can understand the deity's mission and participate in it also. And develop proper relationships, loving relationships with the other devotees, which is the actual gift we have to the society. We're not going to benedict the society at the present moment with our overwhelming opulence. The only opulence we have is devotional service. And that devotional service is manifested in the devotees working cooperatively to spread the Hare Krishna movement amongst themselves, Parashparam, and amongst others by engaging in loving exchanges in the proper consciousness, the proper appreciation, and the proper service to the devotees and ultimately to other people in general. So I'll stop there. Khwala. Any questions?
Okay. So there is a question from Avaduta Das. Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. What will happen with Ritviks? They very much put Prabhupada in center of worship as per Padma Purana. Is this all? If gurus speak knowledge of Shastra, why there are differences in tenets of 4 Vaishnava Sampradayas?
Is this all one question?
No, this is already the second question.
Oh, why don't we try the first one?
Just what will happen with the Ritviks?
What will happen with the Ritviks?
Because they are simply Prabhupada.
Is it? Maybe. We hope so. What will happen to, I'm not the super soul, so I can't tell you. But, as far as the philosophy goes, I think everyone has to accept an authority. So to say that you must surrender, don't surrender to me, surrender to Prabhupada. That one should not get an initiating guru, one should go who's present now, one should go directly to Prabhupada. So if you accept that instruction, then you're accepting them as your guru. The person who's telling you to go directly to Prabhupada, you're not going directly to Prabhupada. You're hearing from that person who's telling you to go directly to Prabhupada. So actually you have to go through him to find out you're supposed to go directly to Prabhupada. So now he becomes your via media to Prabhupada. But they say, well, don't accept me as guru. Okay, if I won't accept you as guru, then why should I accept Prabhupada? No, go to Prabhupada. Okay, I'll accept you as guru and I'll go to Prabhupada. So, generally speaking, there are devotees who would like to become initiating gurus or shiksha gurus, but they're not authorized. They may not, and therefore they're taking the role of guru without being authorized, that's all. Of course, that doesn't mean that they're completely in the wrong, because devotees, to a certain extent, we haven't really recognized those who are giving shiksha to be on the same level as those who are giving diksha. And there's sometimes devotees get frustrated, or they come in contact with other people who are frustrated, and they act as guru, but sometimes they don't even know that that's what they're doing. Okay, next question.
If gurus speak knowledge of Shastra, why there are differences in the tenets of 4 Vaishnava Sampradayas?
I didn't know there were any differences. There are no differences. There are 4 Sampradayas. They all say Krishna is God. How to worship Him is different. Just like if you say, there's Mother Jasoda and she loves Krishna in Vatsalya Rasa, and there's Srimati Radharani, she loves Krishna in Madhurya Rasa. So why are they different? Why don't they get together? Maybe they can worship Krishna in a combination of Madhurya and Vatsalya. Why don't they cooperate with each other or something? No, there's always differences. But they're the same. The aim is to please Krishna, that's all. That's the aim of all 4 sampradayas. How they're doing it may be slightly different, but that's variety. Krishna likes variety.
Next question. Advanced devotees don't like to reveal their confidential realizations to less advanced devotees. Why?
What's the Shastric evidence for that? Then why does anyone give class? We should make sure everyone in class is only on a certain level of spiritual consciousness, namely higher than I am. Because otherwise I wouldn't like to give class and tell them anything about my realizations in Krishna consciousness. As far as, the deep, intimate relationships, my pastimes with Krishna, well, I don't have any. Therefore, there's nothing to reveal. Besides that, an advanced devotee, he reveals his realizations in Krishna consciousness appropriate to the audience. So he's revealing his mind, his realizations appropriately, that's all. It's not that everyone can understand everything about, for instance, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement is similar to Radha and Krishna's movement, but it's more easily understood by the conditioned soul. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dancing with his devotees in the Sankirtan, it's easier to understand than Krishna dancing with the gopis in the Rasa dance. And therefore, to reveal how to chant Hare Krishna is the same as revealing how to dance with Krishna in the Rasa dance. So we may not understand what actually it means to reveal one's mind in confidence. And Prabhupada was explaining to the devotees that you're not this body. If devotees would have, as much as they could understand it and hear it, then they became eligible to enter into more and more confidential understandings of devotional service. So although it seems very elementary, but it's very profound at the same time. Is that it?
Yeah, that is. That's it from here.
Okay. Anything else? You got another one or something? Okay. Khwala Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande.